Panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Just took the lean in the family. Credit cards in the scammers. Getting the licks in the band. Legacies.
I want to welcome you back to Black Site, and we're going to talk about Pastor John Gray wearing $4,000 Yeezy pair of sneakers. Here's a man who just asked his church for a new roof. Here's a man who went to the White House to visit President Trump. Here's a man who has been caught out there cheating on his wife. Here's a man who just bought his wife a Lamborghini for $200,000. And you wondering why so many men don't want to go to church, or people in the African American community don't want to go to church, because they see clowns like this who put on a good show, who's there basically to take your money. He's nothing but an entertainer, and he dresses like an entertainer. It's all right for a preacher to live good, and I'm saying living good, have a nice house, a modest car. But when you get extravagant, when you can wear $4,000 pair of sneakers, that's over the line. And his congregation should check him, but they won't. Because the biggest problem in this community is these pastors. These pastors have these mega churches. They take millions of dollars out of the community, and it doesn't serve anything but themselves. Now, I know there's good pastors around the country who take care of their congregation with that money. But these mega church pastors are starting to get on my nerves. The cheating, the stealing, the reprehensible behavior that you see from preachers like John Gray and others across this country. And nobody holds them accountable for their actions. They act like they're above reproach and that they can get rid of anything. All they have to do is get up in front of the congregation and say, I'm sorry. I'm just like everybody else. I sin. And all this forgetting. And the bucks, the money, the skrill of the bag keeps coming in. If they were preaching so good and it was so righteous, why is the community in such a condition that it's in? In some communities, there's a church damn near on every corner, but the conditions of the people haven't got better. This is literally Reverend Ike on steroids in 2019. The only difference is that Reverend Ike said, give me the bag, give me the skrilla so I can look good. And let me tell you something. These mega pastors living in multi-million-dollar homes, driving Bentleys, wearing diamond watches, wearing $2,000 suits, when the average person sitting in this congregation is wondering how they gonna pay their bills at the end of the month. Will they have enough money for groceries? Yes, it's incumbent on them, but they put so much pressure on the congregation to give money, always asking for money. And this is what you've been paying for. Yes, he has a series on Oprah's channel, and he gets paid, I guess, handsomely. But how much does he take from that congregation? How much did he take from all his traveling, what I call speaking fees, or you can say giving religion's knowledge? This is utterly disgusting. And we let this go on. There are no rules to the game with these pastors. Just like there's no rules to the game in the rap game, no rules to the game for us in the entertainment. There is no codes. So since there's no code, it becomes the Wild Wild West, and you can do whatever you want to. Yeah, it sounds good. And it feels good. But is it truly good for you? $4,000 pair of sneakers. And is he ashamed of himself? No. He'll go on. I'll make this video. People forget about it. He'll do something else the following week. People will forget about it. He knows the black community will never hold him accountable or any of his cohorts around the country. You can go to Larry Reed, Dawson Denise, and see all these problems in the church. And they seem to be getting worse. Everybody wants a mega church. Everybody wants the finest suits, clothes, cars, and a side chick. But the community is falling apart. The moral structure of the black community is falling apart. And the people who's supposed to be keeping that together have gone astray, just like the people on the street. So how can you preach for another man to get better? We know everybody falls short of God and may have sins. But these are outrageous. The cheating, the stealing, the obnoxious arrogance that you see at some of these churches. I don't like calling out pastors. I just mentioned John Gray's name, but many of you know their names. And it has to stop. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site Underground News that you can use. I hope you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification button, and also share this video.